We're live. We're live over on hello Instagram, hello Facebook, and YouTube. Hi, my name is Joanna Daniel. I'm the founder of Wounds to Scars. I create online courses, retreats, and conferences, provide a safe space that adult survivors of childhood trauma can heal so that they can function better in their relationships. Thank you so much for joining, Dee. Yesterday I did the video that I did yesterday talked about some of the things that drives our decision making. And I talked about how unprocessed trauma, thank you for joining, how unprocessed trauma, um, stuff like feelings of inadequacy, shame, guilt, and fear, how those things show up and how they affect our relationships and how they affect our decision making rather, how they will kind of push you into perfectionism or feelings of not being good enough, low self-esteem and low self-worth, and some of the things that we can do to guard against that. And I said I was going to come and talk about what I said in that video. When we understand our values, our core values, then those things are what helps to guide our decision making. But I also know that sometimes our values are a little bit off. They're not really true values because because of the unprocessed pain that impacts how we see ourselves and how we see the world. Now, when we go on our journey of self-discoveries and healing, then our value system will change. But until then, I'm going to tell you some things that kind of guide our decision making. Some of the things that helps to form and make up our value system, who we are. So things like the things that are important to you, like acceptance, achievement, education. Education is important to a lot of people, and sometimes people who are have unprocessed pain use education as a coping mechanism. So sometimes education will feature greatly in your value system, but after you've done a journey of healing, then it though it's important, it's not as important, and it's not your driving force anymore, because you don't need to use structures like that to cope anymore. You will have good coping mechanisms, and so the education won't be the be all and end all. So you won't always be going after another degree or another qualification or another vacation. You won't always be changing, studying, doing something. You'll be settled and content in the place that you're at, on the place that you're in. Some other things that guides our value system is gratitude, communication, a sense of justice or loyalty. For some people, finances, money, wealth, professionalism, or religion is a big piece. Respect, kindness, safety, truth, wisdom, and the list goes on and on and on. Are some of the things that guides. If you think in terms of your values, think what are the things that are important to me. So if you make two columns, what are the things that are important to me in the first column? The things that are absolutely non-negotiable. What are those things? And what are the things that I don't mind negotiating on? Are those things too? And it will help you get to have a sense of who you are, an understanding of who you are. And as I said, those change over time sometimes. Sometimes they change with age, but I know they definitely change with healing. When you deal with the shame, when you confront the guilt, when you learn how to let go of fear, and when you learn how to have good, positive sense of self and self-talk, then those things that were once important aren't important, so as important anymore. And you'll find that it will be replaced by other things, because you'll begin to know yourself so much more, and different things will be important. For example, you'll get to know what's important to you in terms of friendships. What are those things that you want? I know I was having a chat with my husband recently, this week actually, when we went on our daily walk, and he said to me, I don't just want people in my life anymore. I feel like I want friends who are able to connect, people who are able to be honest about who they are and how they're feeling. And I thought, whoa, that is such a shift, because that was very different. Sometimes we will just want people in our lives because we want people in our lives. And, we were created for connection. So we like having people around. And my husband is an extrovert. He loves people. People love him. But he's saying, I'm ready to take friendships to another level. And I think that was a big thing for a man to say, because they don't often say things like that. So he was ready to take things to a deeper level. And so those are some of the places that you'll realize that when you once upon a time, you might surround yourself with lots and lots of people because you like people like you like friends, you make friends easily. But you get to a stage of understanding who you are and being comfortable with that, and you realize that this is not okay for me anymore. I want to surround myself with people who are positive, people who are uplifting, people who can help to grow me. And I don't just want people for the sake of having people. And when you find that you're doing that, when you're settling in more and more into who you are because you're comfortable and understand, and you've worked through the shame, and you're not self-protecting in the same way anymore. Now you have boundaries, which are very, very different from when we use self-protection as a strategy. And as you start to do that, you'll find that some people will just naturally fall off, and you'll have different kinds of people in your life. And the kinds of people that you'll start to attract are the kind of people who will fulfill you and feed you in a different kind of way, because you get to understand who you are. And as I said, at those stages, your value system change as well. Sometimes they change, and then you'll know the really, really important things to you, like my for example, kindness. If kindness was a value system before, as you grow to a deeper understanding of yourself, kindness definitely won't go away, but it might change in terms of what does that look like, and how do I carry this value system out, and what are the kind of people who are doing this that I will let into my life. So it really gets to it when you understand who you are. It protects you. It protects you from people who are harmful and unsafe. It really protects you from unsafe people. And one of the things that we see a lot is people who have not allowed themselves to heal don't have safe enough boundaries. And when we don't have safe enough boundaries, that's when these people come into our lives and they wreak havoc, or they're toxic, or they're demanding, or they pull a lot from us and demand a lot from us emotionally as well as physically. And sometimes that's when we struggle to say no, because we feel like we should look after people's feelings, and if I do this, then it's going to hurt them. And you don't know that you're not responsible for how people feel. They have to take responsibility for that. Not that our behaviors are irresponsible and reckless, but people have to look after their own feelings, as you learn to do as you grow deeper. So we have a 21-day journey starting on Monday. The link is in the bio for Instagram and will be in the comment section for those who are on YouTube and Facebook. So join us on that journey. And we've just finished a 7-day challenge, a free 7-day challenge we've just completed on a self-discovery journey. And it was just such an eye-opener for myself, who runs the challenge, because we're always growing and learning. And for the people who took part in the challenge, they really got to know more about themselves in a deeper way. And that's what we're about. And somebody said to me, like, I did the challenge, but I'm doing it again. I'm doing it again with myself so that I can understand myself better. So I hope that you will join us in the 21 days, so you can have a better understanding of yourself as well, and your value system. Even if you have a sense of your values already, sit with the activity for today with your 2 columns, and write what's important to you, what's negotiable, what's non-negotiable, and see how your values have changed since last year. See if the lockdown has changed your value system in any way, because sometimes different circumstances in our lives will shift, our values will shift slightly. So see if yours have been adjusted, and if it's been changed in any way since the lockdown has started. And it'll be interesting to see what you find out new about yourself. All right, so that's all for today. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining over Instagram and Facebook, and I'll see you soon.